So the biggest cherry picker in the world and the worst heavyweight and the worst American heavyweight I've ever laid eyes on has ducked Dillian White. He could have easily still paid Bermane Stiverne step aside money and instead taken Dillian White fight. Dillian White was begging for this fight. Instead, he chooses to fight piece of shit, not Terches or Bermane Stiverne. Dillian White was calling out. Even though I think Dillian White ducked Jarrell Miller, in this sense, Deontay Wilder ducked Dillian White because Dillian White was calling for the past couple days Deontay Wilder out, saying, fight me. Deontay Wilder chose, because they ruled out the Ortiz fight. So when they ruled out the Ortiz fight, Deontay Wilder had an option. Mandatory, Stiverne, or Dillian White. But he chose the rematch. Deontay Wilder chose the rematch with Bermane Stiverne. So he ducked Dillian White. Deontay Wilder is a cherry picker. He's a coward. He doesn't want to challenge himself. And that's why I don't respect him anymore. He's just a coward, really. Cherry picker. Worst American heavyweight I've ever seen. You know, people have this thing where they call fighters cherry pickers or hype jobs. But let me tell you something right now. Wilder is probably the biggest hype job I've ever came across. You know, I am one of those people. I have no filter. I speak the way I speak. I speak as what's in my mind and the way I feel about a fighter. You know, you got people criticizing other fighters who have decent records and much better resumes than Wilder, than someone like Wilder, but they will crucify those guys and they'll shit out and they'll praise Wilder. Like, you got some people saying, well, who has Erickson Lubinson fought? But meanwhile, Lubin has like 19 fights. He's a prospect. He's fighting guys he's supposed to. I've seen people criticize Jarrell Miller. Well, Jarrell Miller only fought Jarrell Washington. Yeah, but Jarrell Miller is already fighting guys the level that Wilder's fighting, and he only has less than 20 fights. He's already fighting guys. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. You got guys criticizing guys like Gennady Golovkin, saying he doesn't have the best resume. Yet this guy has a way better resume than bum-ass Wilder. You know, I just hate boxing fans to do this. They criticize all these other fighters and all these other resumes, but they kiss Wilder's ass. Yeah, he's the biggest cherry picker in boxing. I have no respect for Wilder. I have no respect for Wilder. You gain my respect as a boxing fan when you fight legit contenders. I only respect fighters who fight legit contenders and who prove themselves. Look at my track record. I only respect fighters who fight good contenders. I don't respect Wilder. I don't respect Wilder. I don't respect bum-ass cherry-picking motherfuckers. I just don't. Again, I don't blame him for Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is a piece of shit for taking steroids and injecting himself. He should just retire from boxing. He'll never be a champion. Nobody's gonna fight him now because he was caught with steroids. So this guy should just retire. Go back to Cuba because nobody wants you to fight you now, Luis Ortiz. You ruined your career. You ruined your career. You should have not taken no medication. You fucking ruined your career. You have you and yourself to blame. When it comes to Wilder, I'm still calling his bum ass a cherry picker because he could have fought Dillian White, but he chose to fight bum ass, irrelevant, old ass, fat as fuck Bermane Stiverne. You ducked Dillian White. You're a ducker. You're a ducker. You're not a real fighter. You're not a real American fighter like Jarrell Big Baby Miller. That's why I really respect Jarrell Big Baby Miller, because this guy's willing to fight everybody. Jarrell Big Baby Miller will beat the shit out of Wilder. I'm telling you. I just don't like Wilder at all anymore. I hope somebody knocks this guy the hell out. That's all I have to say.